Hello and welcome back to our Lord of the Rings LCG solo progression series. And today's quest is the nightmare version of the Redhorn Gate, which was the first adventure pack in the Duero Delph cycle. A quick reminder, in this series we're playing through each quest in chronological order of the game's initial release, and we'll only be using player cards that were available at the time of this quest's release. I'm calling this deck Redhorn of Gondor. This is the first time I've used a Gondor Swarm deck in the channel, and so that means it's the first time I've used Leadership Boromir. He came out in the Heirs of Numenor Deluxe expansion, Gondor Warrior and Noble traits, 11 threat, 1 willpower, 3 attack, 2 defense, 5 health. While Boromir has at least 1 resource in his resource pool, Gondor allies get +1 attack. I have 31 Gondor allies, and so that could be as much as 31 attack. Pretty cool. Similarly, Visionary Leadership, it's a unique leadership attachment, cost 2. It's a skill attached to a Gondor hero. While attached hero has at least 1 resource in its resource pool, Gondor characters, not allies, get +1 willpower. So the single resource in the character's pool is a lot like Boromir's power, right? And so between Visionary Leadership and his passive ability there, then Boromir can boost Gondor allies by +1 attack and +1 willpower. So very similar to Dai and Ironfoot. And with him, he has to be ready to boost dwarves by that. And so this is a little bit more set up. But Gondor Swarm really works well here in this quest. Gondor Swarm can play quicker than Dwarf Swarm, in my opinion. But I want to say about, I just pronounced for the first time Dai and Ironfoot correctly. So I've always said Dane Ironfoot. I'm on a little sidebar here. I've been reading a lot of Tolkien, reading through the Silmarillion, the Children of Hurin, and I'm taking more interest in proper pronunciation based on his rules of the Elvish language. And so it's not Dane, and it's not Dine, it's not D-I-N-E, right? It's Da-een, 2 vowels, or 2 consonants, excuse me. Two consonants, Da-een. But when you say it fast, it sounds like dying, you know. So interesting. That's the way that word is actually pronounced according to Tolkien. In this quest, we'll see Caradhras. I've always said Caradhras, but it's Caradhras. Soft TH like then. And I think Christopher Lee said that correctly in the movie. He knows his stuff, but I didn't pick up on that. So it's Caradhras. And while we're at it, Maedhros is Maedhros. So you need to work on your pronunciation if you're like me. So sidebar complete. All right, everything else will make sense as we play. Let's get to the quest and see how we do. Opening hand's good because we have Steward of Gondor. The only thing that could be better is if we had Envoy of Pelargir, but maybe we'll get her quickly. Okay, so here's the setup card for the Nightmare quest here. We remove the following cards in the following quantities and shuffle in the Nightmare cards. We're playing Nightmare mode. The only change in setup is we remove all copies of Blinding Blizzard from the encounter deck and set them aside out of play. There's 2, and they're both Nightmare Treacheries. And then during this game, player cards in the victory display do not count their victory points. So you have to have 5 victory points. We'll have 3 from Caradhras, but you have to have 5 victory points to win. There are player cards like side quests that have victory points on them. When you add them to the victory display, you could have the necessary 5 victory points, but that won't count towards the win. So that's what that is. And there's a change when we advance to stage 2B. We'll look at that when we get to it. Celeborn has bid you escort Arwen to visit her father in Rivendell. Your journey takes you through the Redhorn Gate. So add Caradhras to the staging area. Here it is, 3 threat. While it is the active location, questing characters get -1 willpower, but players cannot travel to Caradhras except by quest card effects. I could push it over here with Thor's Map or Westroad Traveler, but no reason to, because if we clear it, it'll come back anyway later. Remove all copies of Snowstorm from the encounter deck and set them aside out of play. There's 5 of them, and they reduce questing characters' willpower by 1 until the end of the phase. That'll come into play stage 2. Put Arwen Undomiel into play under the control of the first player. Here she is. First player gains control of Arwen Undomiel as an ally. Response: after Arwen Undomiel exhausts, obviously the quest usually, add 1 resource to that hero's resource pool. And that's not a questing hero. sort of like Theodred or something like that. That's just a really powerful response. You can put that on a hero across the table if you're playing multiplayer. If she leaves play, players are defeated. With that in mind, let me show you the greatest danger to us from this quest. It is an enemy called Snow Giant. Here he is. He's quite beefy. 42 engagement, 4 threat, lots of stats. And let's just leave him in the staging area. But while he's in the staging area, it attacks the first player during the combat phase as if it were engaged. So you better be ready to chump. Well, if he's going to attack us, we might as well engage him. Forced, after Snow Giant engages you, discard the ally you control with the highest willpower. Who would that be? That would be Arwen. If she leaves play, we lose. So this is a real problem. And so at first I built a spirit deck and tried to put out 2 willpower allies like Westroad Traveler. They exist in spirit. And I was thinking I'll keep my threat low. That was my first attempt. When I saw Snow Giant, I thought that was the way I was going to deal with it. But I found that Gondor Swarm and Visionary Leadership works better. Now, and also Denethor, there's only 2 of these in the deck, so Denethor can just exclusively live and exist really in the quest to pay for stuff, obviously, but to bury Snow Giants. There should only be 2. Dragon Cards has 3 for whatever reason, so I'm going to delete 1. Chris is aware of the mistake, but it'll be fixed later, he says. So 2 for now. That's correct. Now, one other thing to mention is you have to have 5 victory points to win. And there are 2 locations, Calebdil and this one that I don't know how to pronounce. So I have to get one of these in the victory display. So we will turtle here at stage 1 while we wait to see one of those come out. Okay, so when revealed, reveal 1 card from the encounter deck per player and add it to the staging area. And we'll make sure that it's not, let's hope that it's not Snow Giant. It's not. It's Black Uryx. When revealed, the first player must choose and discard an attachment from a questing character if able. No questing characters. Resource phase. Cool, we got Envoy of Pelargir. Let's exhaust Bearvor to draw 2 cards. It's a really good opening hand here. Let's definitely play Envoy of Pelargir. And it says, response, after Envoy of Pelargir enters play, add 1 resource to a Gondor or Noble Hero's resource pool. We'll put that on Boromir. He's both Gondor and Noble. Now we can play Steward of Gondor, exhaust it, and he can get those resources back. Let's use Denethor's action, exhaust him to look at the top card of the encounter deck. We're just making sure that it is not a Snow Giant. It's not. We'll go ahead and play Herald of Anorion. And Herald of Anorion says, you may give Herald of Anorion Doom 2 when you play it from your hand. If you do, it gains a response. After you play Herald of Anorion, choose a player. That player may put into play 1 ally from his hand with a printed cost 2 or lower. So Doom 2, and we'll put this Pelargir ship captain into play for free. All right, so we will quest with Arwen and put a resource on Boromir, which is going to boost all these Gondor allies, but we're about to lose it because of Bitter Wind. I'd like to be able to attack back and get him, so here we go. That's what we'll do. Okay, we reveal Bitter Wind. When revealed, the first player must discard 3 resources from each hero he controls. So I'll lose this resource, so no boost. And I was unsuccessful in the quest. Threat goes up by 2. Can't travel to Caradhras. Still working on it. So Black Uryx engages us. And we're going to take this undefended. So this deck is made for undefended attacks. So Black Uryx attacks for 3. There are shadow cards that really penalize defending characters. So let's just say there's no defending character. The worst thing that can happen is there's a mountain troll in the deck that's shadow effect says attacking the enemy gets +1. Well, Boromir can take that. That'd be 4 damage, undefended. It does say if the active location is mountain, it gets +2, so you have to be careful about that. But let's just go ahead and just take it undefended. And it was not, there's no boost, so 3 undefended we'll just put on Bearvor. And now we can attack for 3, 4, and 5 and destroy Black Uryx. Refresh, next round. Really don't mind at all seeing Wolfpelt Goblin discarded as a shadow. Here's Denethor. Okay, Silvertime Marauder is okay as well. Steward of Gondor, exhaust Bearboard to draw 2 cards. Let's play Herald of Anorian. We'll put him down here. And we'll give him Doom 2 and play for free this Pelargir Ship Captain. We'll also put out Hunter of Lamadon. And for free, we can play Citadel Custodian. Lower the cost to play Citadel Custodian by 1 for each Gondor ally in play. So he's free. Now we have a resource on Boromir, and we're assuming moving forward that we always will. And so let's go ahead and just boost all of the attack values of our Gondor allies. Very good. And we will quest with... See, we need to be able to attack this guy for 9. So let me think here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So let's put him down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. We'll do that. Okay, we're going to quest with Arwen. Let's go ahead and sneak attack Gandalf into play. And we'll draw 3 cards rather than, lower our threat. Okay, so we're going to quest with Arwen and with Gandalf, putting the resource on Boromir. So he has that resource he needs for boosting our characters. And we'll just continue to put some willpower out here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, yeah. Okay, so we're making some progress here. Silvertime Marauder, we made 5 progress. And here comes Silvertime Marauder. Gandalf comes back to our hand. He's going to attack for 3. We're going to do the undefended thing because we don't want to chump if we don't have to. He gets +2 attack if the defending character has less than 2 willpower. There is no defending character. Worst thing that can happen is he gets boosted for 1. And okay, good. We're getting lucky with the Wolfpelt Goblins. So 3 undefended, and we'll put that on Boromir. And we'll attack for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and destroy him. Refresh. Next round. Another free Citadel Custodian. Let's exhaust Bearboard to draw 2 cards. Denethor's action. Okay, we'll bury Wolfpelt Goblin. So we got a little bit of an issue here because we don't know what's coming. And it could be the Snow Giant. However, we have plenty of willpower now, so I think we're fine. I think I'm going to play Gandalf from hand and just try to lower, draw some cards is what I'm going to do. So let's actually play Envoy of Pelargir. And puts a resource on Boromir. And then we will play Gandalf and draw 3 cards. This could be Snow Giant, but we're not too worried if it is. Okay, let's quest with Arwen. And so we've put in Gandalf. I mean, our threat's not going to go up to 42, but if we somehow have to engage Snow Giant, we can discard Gandalf. Let's quest with him. And if it's Snow Giant, I think we'll optionally engage it because I think we could destroy him with 3. So a resource goes on Boromir, and we reveal. Okay, Frozen Silverload, no big deal. Okay, so we made no progress. If it had been Snow Giant, we could have optionally engaged him, discarded Gandalf because his willpower is the highest, and then we can, chump with somebody when he attacks us, like Herald of Anorian. Then we could have attacked for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we have enough. So you can see that the first couple of rounds is where Snow Giant could be a real problem. Okay, while it's in the staging area, characters cannot gain willpower from player card effects. Nobody's being boosted, so no big deal. We'll travel here, and we'll refresh and discard Gandalf at the end of the round. Next round. We really want Visionary Leadership. Okay, Steward of Gondor, Bearboard draws us 2 cards. Denethor's action. Okay, Freezing Cold is fine. Let's go ahead and start healing our characters here. So here's Warden of Healing. And we'll go ahead and exhaust Warden of Healing to heal some damage there. We can go ahead and put some more characters into play. And that's fine. We'll quest with Arwen, who puts a resource on Boromir. We just kind of want to clear this location here. And that's enough. We reveal Freezing Cold. When revealed, the first player attaches this card to a hero he controls. We'll attach it to Denethor. The attached hero will get -2 willpower and cannot commit to a quest. We don't care. He's always first target. We don't care if he commits to the quest. We don't want him to. If attached hero has more than one copy of Freezing Cold attached, discard attached hero from play. So he's got 1 willpower. -2 means he's at 0, so -1 really. And so we can't quest. That's the only problem. And we'll have to be ready for stage 3 with this. Do 9 quests is all that's needed to negate this. Okay, we made 4 progress. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We cleared Frozen Silverlode. Still can't travel here. Still taking our time until we get one of those victory point locations. Refresh next round. Redhorn draws us 2 cards. And there we go. There's Visionary Leadership. So now we're not as worried about the giant. Okay, here's Denethor. Blackworks is fine. Let's go ahead and put out Visionary Leadership. We'll attach it to Boromir. It can only be attached to a Gondor hero. While attached hero has at least 1 resource in its resource pool, Gondor characters get +1 willpower. So that means that technically Denethor is boosted. So he's at 2, -2. He's back down to 0. But all these characters are suddenly, it's like Dwarf Swarm, just major boosts here. Okay, let's go ahead and heal this damage. And we will actually chump because we're not fully healed. So we can't take an undefended, unfortunately. But that's fine. We can use Squire of the Citadel. Let's play Hunter of Lamadon, I think. We're not using his response. He is Gondor and Outlands. We will put Guard of the Citadel into play. All right, we're questing with Arwen, putting a resource on Boromir. And just a couple more. There we go. We reveal Black Oryx. When revealed, the first player must choose and discard an attachment from a questing character fable. No attachments on questing characters. We made a progress. Here comes Black Oryx. He could be boosted by 1, and I can't quite take that, so we'll just chump with we'll chump with Squire of the Citadel. And defending player must discard 2 resources from each hero he controls. So we lost 2 resources on Boromir. So all these boosts are gone. But he leaves play, and puts a resource back on Boromir. So now the boosts are back, and we can easily just destroy and kill him. Refresh next round. Okay, some more healing. That's good. Steward of Gondor, Redhorn draws us 2 cards. Let's use Denethor's action. Snow Warg is fine. Let's play our 3rd and final Herald of Anorion, giving it Doom 2, and playing for free. Let's do Warden of Healing. We'll play Aaron Ryder and Envoy of Pelargir. And she'll put a resource on Boromir. And we'll hang tight. Let's quest with Arwen, put a resource on Boromir. And we just need, let's heal this damage fully here. And then we'll quest maybe like that. Okay, we reveal Snow Warg, and I didn't want to quest with so much willpower. Okay, I made no progress. I don't want to clear this yet. Okay, so no progress made. Snow Warg engages us. Now it says forced. After a character is declared as a defender against Snow Warg, deal 1 damage to the defending character. No defending character, so that force effect doesn't matter. It says allies cannot defend while Snow Warg is attacking, so I can't jump. I'm going to take this undefended. And no shadow effect. We'll put it on Beravor. And we'll attack and destroy easily Snow Warg. Yeah, let's use this Warden of Healing to heal Beravor. Refresh. Next round. Just turtling and waiting for that location to come out. Drawing 2 cards with Beravor. Steward of Gondor, Denethor's action. Another Freezing Cold, we're fine with that. We will put out this Pelargir ship captain, and I won't use his response. And we'll put out this Guard of the Citadel. And we'll quest with Arwen, putting the resource on Boromir. We'll heal this damage on Beravor. I know I'm kind of doing these things out of order. We'll make a progress, that's fine. We reveal Freezing Cold, and we'll attach this to Boromir. And so he is at 0 now. Willpower, can't quest. We made progress. We'll refresh. Next round, here's a free Citadel Custodian. Beravor draws us 2 cards. Let's play Hunter of Lamadon. We're mostly turtling just to wait for that location to come out. Here is Guard of the Citadel. Denethor's action. Silvertime Marauder. At some point, well, I'll wait until it's time to, so I won't put out, I've got to put out Dunedain Quest at some point, but no rush. Let's go ahead and quest. Put in the resource on Boromir. And we reveal Silvertime Marauder. No progress made. If we made progress, we'd advance. We don't want to. Here comes Silvertime Marauder, undefended. Attacking enemy gets +2 if the defending character has less than 2 willpower. No defending character. So 3 damage. We'll put it on Beravor. We'll heal her up. Almost completely. And we attack and destroy Silvertime Marauder. No problem. Refresh. Next round. Steward of Gondor. Beravor draws us 2 cards. Denethor's action. There we go. Finally our victory point, so we can move on here. Let's play Ithilien Tracker. And we'll go ahead and quest. We'll just progress here. Let's put a resource on Boromir. Let's sneak attack Gandalf into play real quick and draw 3 cards. Let's just quest pretty heavily here. We'll heal up Beravor real quick. Again, I'm doing all that. I understand that you commit characters all at once. Okay, Celebdil, we made 18 progress, and so we cleared up the pass. So we waited until we had 2 of these before we moved on, because I don't want to linger in stage 2. You add these cards in, it's more to manage. So I just feel like waiting and staying at stage 1 is the way to go. And if one of these had been a shadow card, we could have used Shadow of the Past to bring it back. Snowdrifts. Progress slows as you meet the fury of the mountains. Sudden snows fall heavy around you, and a bitter wind howls down from the peaks. You uncover a shallow depression in the snow filled with frozen remains. Some of them bear strange markings as if they had been burned with flame. How many other doomed souls lie beneath the quickly rising drifts? When revealed, shuffle 1 more copy of Snowstorm into the encounter deck than the number of players in the game. Now, technically, the force effect should come first. Forced. When stage 2B is revealed, shuffle each set-aside copy of Blinding Blizzard into the encounter deck. There's 2. And now the when revealed. Shuffle one more copy of Snowstorm into the encounter deck than the number of players in the game. So 2 are shuffled in. And when we advance, basically when you put the 11th progress, Karadharos becomes your active location, and any other active location is discarded. Okay, during travel, Gandalf comes back to hand. During travel, we'll travel to Celebdil. It says while Celebdil is the active location, remove 2 progress tokens from it at the end of each round. Okay, refresh. And there's no progress to remove from Celebdil next round. Bearvor draws us 2 cards. Now we can't advance yet until we get Faramir. We have 1 copy of him in the deck. So we have a little bit of waiting to do here. Well, let's use Denethor's action before we spend those resources. Frozen Silverlode. We don't really mind it. I think we can clear Celebdil and then Frozen Silverlode, no problem. Let's put out this little guy here. And I think I'll go ahead and sneak attack Gandalf in and draw 3 cards. I just want to get Faramir next round. So I sneak attacked him in during questing. So we'll advance and finish the quest. Well, we'll advance past this stage next round. Now this is going to come out. It's going to take away all the boosts. So let's just quest. And I'm not going to really worry too much about the math, but let's put a resource on Boromir. So any of these, see, so right here, that's 24, but minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that's fine. I won't clear the quest. And we reveal Frozen Silverlode, and so it took away the willpower boost because it's in the staging area. And so I think I did the math right, but I have plenty of options, so I'm just not going to waste time doing too much math there. But we made 9 progress. I think I got that right. So 7, that's cleared. 2 on Snowdrifts. This goes to the victory display. Now you can really struggle. You don't want to have advanced and this be in staging because you lose the game. So we have a couple of Strider's Paths, and I'll explain that in a minute a little bit more. But we'll travel to Frozen Silverlode, so now that effect is gone. Gandalf comes back to hand at the end of questing, of course. No damage to heal, refresh, and next round. And I think we can just move on here, assuming that it's not a Frozen Silverlode. Let's draw 2 cards with Bearvor, or our final card. Okay, Denethor's action. It is a Frozen Silverlode, so we're going to wait around before we advance. Because if Frozen Silverlode comes out and we advance, then even if I have Strider's Path and I push it in, there's going to be 1 in staging when I advance. That would result in a loss. You just cannot have Frozen Silverlode come out during stage 3. So I don't want to bury this though, because I want to know what's next, and so we'll just take our time. Just get everybody out here. Except for a Hinnemarth. Now at some point, I've got to put out, I have 2 Dunedain quests, and I only have 2 to combat freezing colds. If one is ever on Bearvor, it means she's gonna leave play during stage 3. Doesn't really matter too much, but I do have to put out the Dunedain quest. So let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll put them on Boromir and Denethor. So this gives Boromir, basically he's getting boosted from Dunedain quest and from Visionary Leadership, but then -2 because of freezing cold. So he's at his printed 1. Now he can't ever quest. Same thing with Denethor, +2, -2. He's at his printed 1, cannot quest. And let's go ahead and play Faramir. So everybody's out. Okay, so we're going to quest with Arwen and put a resource on Boromir. And remember, this is going to take away any kind of willpower boost, so all these willpowers don't really count. See, so that's going to be -6. So that's what we need. We reveal Frozen Silver Load. We made 3 progress. And we'll travel here and refresh. And this is where we move on, assuming that we have control over the encounter deck. So what's coming? Rocky Crags is fine. So we'll move on. Let's put out Hinnemarth. So we have everybody in play. Let's play Gandalf. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's lower our threat. All right, and so we will quest. Now, before we do, at the beginning of, before committing characters, just during this phase, we need to use Faramir's action. We're going to boost him. We're boosting all of our characters by +1 willpower, every character, but I'm not going to adjust values. I'm just going to show you real quick how this works. Let's just say we're questing with everybody. More just for the demonstration's purpose. Now we are questing with the extra willpower. Now I can't quest with Boromir or with Denethor, but I'll quest with Barivor. And Faramir's boosting everybody, and we reveal Rocky Crags, and we made 51 progress, so we easily cleared Frozen Silverload and Snowdrifts. After placing the 11th progress token on Snowdrifts, discard any active location. Caradhras becomes the active location. So we're in questing, quest resolution. While this is the active location, questing characters get -1 willpower. And so that takes away Faramir's action. Like his action negates this. So that's why I didn't worry about adjusting everybody. So right now everybody's willpower is what's printed here because they're being boosted by Visionary Leadership. But we advance to the mountain's peaks. The mountain peaks are almost in reach, but the swirling snows make it difficult to see, and your strength begins to drain away with the daunting final push to the pinnacle. When revealed, shuffle all copies of Snowstorm in the encounter discard pile back into the encounter deck. So let's look for Snowstorm. I don't think we have any. Yeah, no Snowstorms. It doesn't say shuffle the encounter deck. That's good. Now, if I searched through the encounter deck, I would have to shuffle it, but I don't have to shuffle the encounter deck right now. Characters are discarded from play if their willpower is ever 0. So that's why you have to be a little bit careful. Right now, Caradhras is taking questing characters down a notch. Well, Boromir and Denethor, they're boosted by Visionary Leadership and Dunedain Quest, which compensates for freezing cold. They can't quest, so they're not affected by Caradhras. Squire of the Citadel, has +1 from Faramir, +1 from Visionary Leadership, -1 from Caradhras, so it's not at 0 willpower. So we're safe. So again, Faramir compensates for Caradhras. Now you don't want to quest with Hinnemarth. If you do, he's not boosted by Visionary Leadership. He would leave play, but nobody's at 0 willpower right now at all. So we're good. Now players cannot defeat this stage unless they have 5 victory points. If the players defeat the stage, they've won the game. Let's look at what's on top of the encounter deck with Hinnemarth. Bitter Wind is fine. So if it was something we didn't like, we could use Shadow of the Past to bring something we like back on top or something like that. But you have to be careful with this one, Snowstorm. Like if you know that's coming, then you don't quest, basically. You just don't want to lose. And so you have to be careful with this -1 willpower and Caradhras. So refresh and we'll win the game right here next round. Again, I've left play at the end of the round. Steward of Gondor, and we'll play Gandalf from hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll lower our threat by 5. And actually, let's just take the resources away from Barivor and from Denethor, and so that gives Boromir more resources. And we will quest with everybody. Now, we cannot quest with Boromir or with Denethor. We wouldn't want to. They'd leave play if we did. Before we quest, though, we exhaust Faramir to use his action, or else we would lose some characters. Don't want to quest with Hinemarth. He'd leave play. And Faramir's action is canceled by Caradhras. And we reveal Bitter Wind. When revealed, the first player must discard 3 resources from each hero he controls. Well, Boromir still has a resource on him, so everybody's still boosted. We made 54 progress. Cleared Caradhras. It goes to the victory display. That was 9, I think. Yeah. 9 progress. Oh, yeah. 9. So 43. Excuse me. 43 on the current quest. And we won because it says players cannot defeat this stage unless they have 5 victory points. If the players defeat the stage, they have won the game. A couple of considerations here at the end. You just want to know what's coming. Like if snowstorm's coming out, just don't make it so that everybody gets down to 0 willpower. You got to be so careful there. This is not a big deal at all. If a third freezing cold came out, it would result in Beravor leaving play. But at this point, we don't need her. We don't need to draw cards, and so if we lose her, it's not a big deal. We do have some Shadows of the Past that can help in Stage 3. This is very important. Strider's Path. If a Frozen Silverload came out, remember that's the one that, if it's in staging, it takes away all willpower boosts. That's a great way to lose a game if that came out. And so we have a couple of Strider's Paths to immediately push it over to the active location. So that can be helpful to keep from losing. But a combination of Hinemarth and Denethor and Shadows of the Past and just thinking things through keeps you from losing. And, we never saw the Snow Giants. They were never a part of the playthrough. I don't think I ever buried one. But that's what Denethor's for, is just burying these guys. We never saw Mountain Troll, but, you can see that eventually once you kind of get allies out, you can attack back and easily destroy anything. So getting him round 1 or something like that, you could have a playthrough where you get just a lot, like maybe let's say setup, you get a Mountain Troll and then you get a Snow Giant. I mean, things can go poorly, but usually even with these situations, maybe not with a Snow Giant situation, but usually even with maybe 3 or 4 enemies in play, you can pretty quickly get allies out. Now you would be chumping a lot and it would make for a longer playthrough, but here we won it in 13. Make sure to remember you have a Athelian tracker for his actions. Sometimes that's really important to take down maybe a Snow Warg's threat to 0. We didn't do too much chumping. Just 1 chump ever, Squire of the Citadel. Gandalf, mostly for card draw. We used him for some threat reduction. You don't need a lot of threat reduction. First couple of rounds, you're going to quest unsuccessfully. Your threat goes up to around 40. But then from then on, it's just once a round. Your threat goes up 1 by 1. So you're really okay. Threat reduction is not needed too much. But we do have it. And I think we saw everything else in the deck, how it works. We talked about Strider's Path, mostly for Frozen Silverload. But there are, during the first round, if you get an Icy Lake, I think is what it's called, you could play one of them to avoid getting the freezing cold. But that's how it goes. You just have to think and be real careful. And eventually you don't have to be as careful because you can just overwhelm the quest. But be careful with Caradhras and you'll win. So thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the playthrough, and I hope that you have a really good day. Thanks a lot. Bye.